we've come a long way in terms of building classes. So we have these properties, constructors, getters, setters, and also you've learned about toString. Now let me teach you about an important concept when it comes to comparing objects. So in here, if I go back to main, have a look. We've got rows and we have star in here. So what I want to do is I want to take all of these properties from rows and I basically want to make them the same. So the rows right here will have the name rows, star. Let's just say that star also, or actually let's just rename this to rows and then maybe 2, for example. And this is rows 1, rows 2. There we go. So I think this makes more sense. Now what I want to do is, now if I run this, you should see that we have basically 2 objects which are the exact same thing. Now let's have a look at this concept right here of equality when it comes to objects. So if I want to check whether rows, so this rows right here, rows 1 is equal to rows 2, you've seen before that we can use the equals, right? So here I can just say south, and then here I'm going to say rows 1 equals, so double equals in here, and then rows and then 2. So this right here should perform the equality, right? Because you think that they have the exact same attributes and whatnot, but let's actually see what the result of this output is. So if I run this, have a look, this is false. Wow. So what is happening? So they're not equal. So let's see why is the case. So if I show you the diagram, so in here you've learned about the stack and the heap, and by the way, this is a little bit simplified because we need to have the frames for the objects themselves when we assign the properties. But in here we have rows 1 and rows 2. So basically what is happening is we have rows, let's just say that this is rows 1, and we also have rows 2. Now these objects right here, as you can tell, they are the exact same thing, right? So they have the exact same characteristics, same name, same eye color, same facial expression and whatnot, but in reality they are 2 separate objects, right? So rows 1 points to one reference and rows 2 points to another reference. Hence, when we perform double equals, it's performing equality on the reference and not the characteristics themselves, i.e. name, age, and color. So rows 1 points to one object and rows 2 points to a different object. So here, if I run this again, you see that this is false, even though they have the exact same attributes. So rows, h2, color blue, rows, h2, color blue. But in reality, they are 2 separate entities. If you want to compare 2 objects, never compare objects like this. So double equals, you shouldn't compare them like this because this is actually comparing the address, right? So where they live inside of the heap. So if I was to, for example, say that rows 2 equals to rows 1 in here, and if I run this, have a look, now it's true because now they are both pointing to the exact same reference. And you've learned about the difference between reference types and primitives, and basically hopefully this now is starting to make a lot more sense. But what is happening is, so we have rows 1 and rows 2, basically we copy the exact same reference. So let's just say that this is the same number, and the reference now for rows 2 is the exact same thing. Hence they are the same when we perform double equals. But majority of the times you don't want to do this. Let me just reverse this, and also within IntelliJ, let me just remove this and let's just leave it like this. Next, let's go ahead and learn the right way to perform equality on 2 given objects.